Well, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. Um, One thing, on a homestead, we have loss. And, Ruby, stay with me. I just lost my cat, Tigger. He was either 17 or 18 years old, and he developed cancer a few years ago on his head. And he's recently gotten so weak. But I tried to give him the best quality of life I could, his whole life. And he liked to eat on an outdoor table that I put for him and the other cat. And he couldn't get up on it anymore. So the other day I picked him up to put him in there on it. And after a little while he jumped down and, he didn't have the strength to hold his body up. So no more feeding him on the table. I loved him. I'm going to tell you a couple things about him. I got him when he was a tiny, tiny kitten from my mom. Really too young to take, but the living conditions there weren't very good. And he was a loving cat. A really great cat. Hi, Ruby. He liked all the babies that came on the homestead. It didn't matter if they were chicks or ducks, other kittens, or puppies. But the story I want to tell you is a really fun one, and because that's how I want to remember him. So Tigger liked to walk around and he would rub against everybody. He was a very affectionate cat, but he always kept his tail straight up like a meerkat. And when my grandson Christopher, who is now 11, was just learning to walk, he could pull himself up on furniture. He would be sitting in the middle of the floor because he'd crawl there. And then Tigger would walk by and he would rub against Christopher. And Christopher would grab a hold of his tail and Tigger would stand right there. And Christopher would pull himself up to a standing position by that tail, and they would walk around the house hand in tail. I never thought to get a picture. It's just crazy, but it's a sweet memory. And I'm going to miss Tigger, but I'm really glad that he is not suffering. So I just thought I would bring you along with a piece of reality on a homestead. Usually the guys would bury, but Donnie doesn't live here anymore, and Jason's had too many strokes, and none of my other kids are close, so I chose not to bury him where we bury the dogs because it's just too rocky. And now here you might be concerned because it's close to a currant bush. I don't like currants. I feed them to the chickens, so I felt like that was a good place. And Tigger didn't like to be too far from the house. So it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house and out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming.